Hi friends, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, a big welcome back to you. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode. For those of you that have been with me for a bit, you may notice I sound a little funny. I'm getting over a nasty cold that, believe it or not, it's been a week since I actually started feeling sick. So this cold is just lingering, but I will get through it. Try not to hack and make a bunch of racket, but bear with me as I sniffle and slightly might have to cough a little to clear my throat. But I just really wanted to record. I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy catching up with you guys and hearing what you're up to. So bear with me. I have my handy off-brand Pedialyte that I'm sipping on. Very fancy beverage. One of my go-tos when it comes to getting through a cold. Gatorade's good too, but Pedialyte is the secret, let me tell you, to give you energy and help keep you hydrated. At least that's my secret, which I'm happy to share. So Happy New Year! As I mentioned, we didn't really do anything for New Year's because I was quite sick. I had very little energy, super congested, so I'm grateful that my husband has managed to avoid it so far. I'm trying so hard not to get him sick, but hopefully he will stay healthy and he'll just dodge this one. I hope so, because it's just brutal. Anyway, I haven't had a cold for probably a year now, so my body's kind of having to remember how to deal with it. I feel like now we're just so much more aware of being healthy, so when it comes to taking vitamins and just, I don't know, sanitary, all this stuff, we're just really on top of it so you don't get sick as often. So now my body's just needs to fight it and take a lot longer than normal. I remember a couple days and I'd be like, done. It could also be age. A sign of times. All right, well, we'll get into shop update and of things. I hope that my nasally voice doesn't bother you guys too much, but I'm sorry. If you're here and you're for it and you're going to stick through it, thank you. I appreciate you. And if you enjoy the content, don't worry, I don't always sound like this. This is just because I'm sick, but if you do enjoy the content, I usually talk about knitting, a lot of hand-dyed yarn. This is primarily due to my little small business, Multifarious Nature, and this is some of my yarn right behind me here. So if you do enjoy that type of content, hand-dyed yarn and some spinning, I do talk about all of that. So definitely hit subscribe and like, and if you hit the bell, you'll be notified when I post new videos. I do try to post weekly around this time at the end of the week. So as far as shop update, nothing new in the shop at the moment. As I mentioned, I was going to be taking like a week, or actually about 2 weeks for the holidays to just really enjoy the holidays and take some time off from doing the dyeing schedule and all that kind of thing. So I'm hoping to get more back into doing that coming up here, but I will not be dyeing this week either. As I've mentioned, I'm getting over a cold and I am just literally regaining some energy today. I did go to work today, but prior to that I had been out sick and I did not have much energy at all. I did do some knitting, not as much as I in my mind would have liked, but I did the best I could with the energy I had. Otherwise I was sleeping. So I'll share what I can with you guys. And I did get some knitting in though. I did get some. So I will show you my next project I'm going to be casting on here soon. I don't know if I want to do this at the end, but because it has to do with my Multifarious Nature yarn, I feel like I can talk about that in the shop update. So this is the Advent, my 2023 Advent. It was the sock sets. So I actually have finished objects. The first sock set, I can show you that in a minute because I'll have my finished objects. I have 3 finished objects, technically speaking. But we're going to be casting on the next set of socks here. And this is my pattern. It's a paid for pattern, I think. I got a deal on it, but it might be, I think you have to pay for it now, but it's called Turkish Delight. And the designer is Paper Daisy Creations. So you can kind of, I don't want to give it away, but yes, it is kind of inspired by Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. And it has a really pretty texture going on, but just a subtle texture. And because my yarn's going to be heavily speckled, and I wouldn't really want a lot of texture because it's going to get lost. But there is some color work here for the contrast color, so looking forward to that. So here we go. I'm going to be using the second set, which is by the Chimney with Care. So it's going to be a primarily warm brown color. It's a kind of a brown tonal, and then it has wonderful speckles of like a deep navy, some deep red in here, and it's basically like the hearth, you know, your chimney. By the Chimney with Care is usually where you have your stockings hung, and yes, that is why it's called that. And then there's this really beautiful gold. I keep holding it up close so you guys can see it really well, but this is more true to the color if I hold it back here. My light's blasting it out. It's pitch black outside right now, so I have to use my fake lighting. But yes, this is by the Chimney with Care sock set. So this is going to be that Turkish Delight socks. So I'm going to cast those on here very soon. I'm excited. They're toe-up socks. So the last set that I did, the Ridgeline boot socks, were top down with a folded cuff. This one is going to be color work, but there's going to be texture also. And I've done textured socks before, but this will be textured and color work, not a folded over cuff. I'm looking forward to it. They look really comfortable. So another nice, I don't know if you'd call it like a crew sock, like longer top to the sock. And I'll show you how much I have left over from my Ridgeline boot socks, which is impressive because it's the largest socks of the pattern. So you can see how much I have left over. All right, so that's the upcoming project. Now I'll get into finished objects. So finished objects, the first is my Ridgeline boot sock, which I just talked about. And here is the set. So I finished one in, I'm pretty sure, the last video. And then I've just finished the other one. They look a little wonky not being on a foot or on any blockers. I do not have sock blockers. I would kind of like a pair of sock blockers though, because literally, if only just to show you guys socks. I probably won't block my socks, but to show them, I think a nice pair of really pretty decorative wooden sock blockers would be really nice, just to show you guys, because I feel like, especially socks like this that have this really wonderful ribbing that gets tight around your foot, it's hard to see the shape of the sock truly without being on a sock blocker. But you can see the beautiful color work. These, okay, so full disclaimer, I did not block these at all. Like, I haven't washed them. I literally finished the second one yesterday. So I did not, I really don't block my socks. I wash them and wear them, and I wanted to put these on last night so badly, but I wanted to show you guys before I started wearing them because I'll get covered in dog fur. So this is what they look like right now before they're all covered in dog fur. I love it, this contrast color. So this is the Holiday Cheer sock set is the name of it. This was the first sock set from Multifarious Nature 2023 Advent. And it's so much fun. So this color's getting kind of wonky because of the lighting, but this is close to the actual color. You can see I almost have an odd coloring to myself right now. The lighting is struggling. But this is a really vibrant red, and then kind of a poinsettia, like a vibrant poinsettia red. And then we have the main colorway, which is that Holiday Cheer colorway. And it's lots of fun speckles, tons of fun speckles. I absolutely loved the speckles in this. I did similar speckling technique with this by the Chimney with Care sock set, so very similar speckling. So it's a lot of fun to knit. You're constantly knitting speckles, and it's so much fun. It just makes you want to keep knitting, which is why I pretty much, I think, I just cast on this sock, I think, the last video, like a week ago. Pretty sure, which, if that's correct, I knit on this like furiously this past week. Anytime I did tend to work on this sock, so but that's pretty quick for me with a sock. So if that's right, I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly, but I think that is. And then has really nice ribbed fitted heel, and did I did the same thing. Oh, and I was gonna make 2 socks that were mirrored socks. My little mini Christmas tree just fell over. I'm gonna put that away today. So I was gonna do mirrored ones, so one for each side, like each foot. But then my second one, I started knitting it, and you follow the first sock. But if you want to do the mirrored sock, you have to then stop that right foot, and then jump to the left foot pattern. And I forgot to do that, and I just kept going. And I'm like, well, like I said, I was kind of ferociously knitting on this. Like, well, I'm not gonna undo it. I'm just gonna keep going. So I ended up doing what she had initially mentioned. You could totally just knit 2 of the same sock, which most patterns are like that. And then it doesn't matter which foot you put it on. So I did not end up making mirror image socks, which initially that was something I was going to do, but it's not the end of the world. I'm totally satisfied with it. I'm going to see how these work out, and I may knit them again. I really did enjoy knitting them. The fact that there's so many fun attributes to this, that you have some color work here, there's the ribbing going on here, like this heel turn, and then you go into more ribbing, and then of course then it goes just into a little bit more color work right here. There's some little speckling going on with that contrast color, and then there's the toe. So there's some speckling here if you can't see that. And yeah, so I have to say that this pattern is quite addicting in a sense that there's always something fun going on. You really don't get bored, and there's this is probably the furthest amount of stockinette that you'll do. It's just a couple inches. It's hardly any. So it's really nice. And then for the color work, you do go up a needle size to do the color work. Yeah, really a lot of fun, you guys. A lot of fun. And when you do the color work portion here, you don't change needle size because it's just this little, like, I think it's a single row of color work. So you just stick with the same needle size. I definitely recommend this pattern. When it comes to ease of understanding, it was very easy to understand, very easy to follow. I truly did enjoy knitting it a lot. And that's the thing with socks. Sometimes you get that second sock syndrome. You get kind of bored and you don't want to do another one. But this one I found to be really a lot of fun. So I definitely think I would knit another one of these for sure. I think it works great for a speckled or variegated colorway. I think it's excellent for that because there's really not a lot of patterning, and if there's enough of a area for your contrast color that you can definitely use a speckled color and it's not going to get lost. The only area where it could get lost a little bit is that one, it's literally one row, so it can kind of look like you're speckling depending on your sock. So this contrast color is close enough that I feel like it can kind of get lost in that little speckle right there, but otherwise that's it. So, and that's, like I said, one row, so it's not like I did a lot of extra work to do that one row of color work, and I still see the little red speckles. To me, I see it. I guess if you didn't know any better, you maybe just think it's the speckles from the sock, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So definitely recommend it, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing this for Advent this year instead of the 25 days. I would definitely do a 25-day Advent again. I enjoy those quite a bit as well. It just depends on what pattern you're doing. And I think with the way this year was going and everything that was going on, this was just what the doctor ordered when it comes to Advent for me. I did this, and then I also did the one I'll talk about in a second, Woolberry's Winter Box. So it wasn't really an Advent, but it's the similar idea. And yeah, I'm not sure yet for Multifarious Nature next year what I'm going to be doing yet. I always debate whether I want to do Advent again because it's a lot of work, but I did really enjoy doing the sock sets. So I'm debating. So if you guys have an opinion one way or the other, I'd love to hear if you prefer sock sets for an Advent or if you prefer a 25-day Advent. The pricing has gone up quite a bit for Advents because with everything in the world, the cost for wool has definitely gone up. And so it has been an expense for those that are doing hand dyeing. You can see the advents have increased greatly in price. So that's kind of why I'm curious what you guys are thinking. Like, if you like the sock set idea for advents, 4 sock sets, that was a lot of fun. And, you know, I totally get it. But then part of me also did kind of miss the 25 days where you open a new color each day and work with it. But I don't know, to each their own. I probably still did the same amount of knitting that I would have done if I had done the 25-day advent. So I don't know. There's maybe just less pressure because it's just one color, and I did not knit with them. So I did not hold myself to that same standard. Normally, when I do the 25 days, I knit each color each day, and then the goal then is to get through all the colors by Christmas, which makes sense. But instead, this time, in my head, I had the goal that I would knit a pair of socks each week, but that was not going to happen, and I didn't even remotely hold myself to that. But I guess that would have been a goal, and I know others have done that, which I am incredibly impressed. I do not know how. Like I said, I did 1 sock in a week. I don't know how I could have done a whole set. I'm just not that quick when it comes to socks. Maybe someday. Maybe if they were just vanilla socks. But these have, you know, some fun elements to it. But I really enjoyed those elements, so I highly recommend that sock set. And even for advent knitting, I think it was a lot of fun. So that is that one. And then we will talk about the other finished object, which is the Stalker Hat by, did I not write down her name again? Oh dear. Guys. Oh, it's right in front of me. Oh, yay. I have the pattern. It's by Susie Bonell, but unfortunately I don't think the pattern's available anymore. But it is a really comfortable hat. This is the second one I've knit. It's really fun to knit too, which is why I'm kind of bummed. I hope she brings it back. But I put it on here. It's so nice and fluffy, you guys. It's like this big fluffy cloud. It's got this little hat brim. Let's see the little brim on here. It's got this cute little brim. And I did not, there's a part of the pattern says you could put a liner in it if you want. I don't. It's just really nice and thick. So I leave it soft and bendable. And then I used, so this is Angora. It's a bunny fur. And then we have alpaca. So this colorway, I keep holding it up close so you guys can see it, but the color is more true back here. This is my Stardust colorway, which is a blue. You can see it back here. I actually have one more skein available in the shop of the Stardust alpaca. I held it double to get the weight of this Angora, like a worsted weight, and more that I got the worsted weight thickness is what I was going for, because this is considered lace weight, I guess. It's considered like a lace weight, but it's really fluffy, so if you knit it with larger needles, it fills in, and you can, it just depends on the fabric you want. But I did hold it double because I was knitting it with this alpaca Angora that is for sure worsted weight, so just to kind of have that similar thickness. And yeah, very, very soft, very fluffy, and I think it's fun having the little blue, like kind of bluish purple stripes in there. So super fun. And this was gifted to me, this Angora. It's super soft. It is just heavenly. I have to say, it's just heavenly. I've never worked with Angora before. It's my first time, and this is going to be a super warm hat to wear. I literally just finished it. So now that it's nice and cold still outside here in Michigan, we are in the 30 degrees, 20 degrees at night. So that's Fahrenheit. So I definitely would want to wear something like this. It'll keep me super toasty. And this is kind of a fancier version of the other one I have. The other one is wool, and it's like dark brown wool, and I wear it all the time. I wear it to work almost every day when it's cold out. But this is kind of like my fun, fancier version of that Stalker hat. So again, super fun pattern. I don't even know what to call it when it comes to looking for a similar pattern, but it has really fun decreases of like, it's gonna be hard to see because it's getting so blasted. What a bummer. One of these days when I have better lighting, maybe I can show you guys and not have it blasted out, but it's gonna be hard because it's beautiful white. You kind of see it. It has this, it kind of pulls in at the top, and it's an alternating from knits and purls and like sections, and then it kind of gets smaller and smaller with the decreases. And this section here, it goes from like doing rows of purling to rows of knitting, rows of purling, rows of knitting. It's a pretty easy pattern to kind of figure out for yourself, but there is a folded over hem here. I don't really mind kind of giving a little information away just because you cannot get this pattern anymore, at least to my knowledge. I can't find it. It's not available on Ravelry anymore. So, yeah, it's a folded over brim. I'm not going to give away too much, but I mean, if you want to figure out how to make it yourself, it's a folded over little, little brim here, and then there's the folded over edging as well around the bottom of the base. So, up to you to figure out how to make it, but yeah, there's more pictures and stuff online still. I think you can still see some pictures, you just can't access the pattern anymore, which is such a bummer. But there is some serious floof. Look at the halo on that puppy. So soft. Anyway, that's my little cloud hat, apparently. I'm not going to call it the Stalker hat, it's just going to be called the cloud hat. Alright, so we are 20 minutes in, and I haven't even talked about my works in progress yet. Oh boy, this is going to be a long video. Bear with me, you guys. Okay, works in progress. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Woolberry Winter Box. So this is my other advent, and I'm doing the Foundation Fade sweater. It is a version of the Resource Raglan by Sarah. I think her name's Sarah Opie. I think that's right. And I've been working on this a decent amount. So I'm now on my third colorway, and I'm pretty sure I started the third colorway last video, but now I'm like really in it. So I've done the fading from the second color, and now I am like full on knitting the third color, which is this beautiful light lilac-y kind of color. It's kind of lilac. I'd call it kind of a lilac, grayish lilac hue. So we started with this gray speckling up here with navy speckles, and then we faded into the green, and it's so fun because this fading really makes it look like these speckles are part of the gray or the green, but they're actually part of this gray. And then we faded from the green into this lilac color, and then the lilac we're going to be fading into the last colorway here, which is so pretty. This dark green. Love this color so much. So I find this fading, I think I talked about it in the last video, I find it very addicting because it really motivates you to get through the project because you want to knit with the next color and you want to see how the colors interact as they're fading, and it's so much fun. So this is going to be the bottom color. I really like it. I think it's going to be a flattering colors for me. I tend to gravitate towards, I do like violets, I do like purples quite a bit, if you can't tell from behind me here, and I also like reds. But yes, I do like violets, I do like greens as well. So I am definitely going to enjoy this. It's just so much fun to knit. So her base is an 80-20 merino nylon blend. Very soft. Definitely enjoying knitting with that. It's quite soft. I do have a feeling it's going to be pill oriented with that kind of merino content. It is superwash, so we will see but my my inkling from experience with merino is that it may pill a bit, but who knows? I mean, it is a sweater, so we'll see how the sleeves react with some wear, but I am looking forward to it quite a bit wearing this, and I'm not really rushing through it, but I'm knitting through it aggressively because I really am enjoying it. I'm also, it's nice going between this and my socks because the socks are very small needles, like a size 1. Whew, teeny tiny needles, and I'm pretty sure this one's probably going to be the same thing. Let's see what they, yeah, size 1 needles. So teeny tiny little knitting needles. And I do the 9-inch circular. I do enjoy that. It does speed up the knitting process for me. So, but then alternating with the square, these are I think they're called 4 square by Knit Picks. They're wooden needles, so they're very nice and light in weight. And then they're just holding onto them. It's really nice because when you knit with teeny tiny round needles or round needles in general, it tends to put a lot of pressure on the pads of your fingers, and it can cause, like, I don't want to call it bruising, but it kind of feels like that. Where when you work with these 4 squares, I don't find that happens. I don't grip it as hard. I don't know what it is, but it does feel better in my hand with knitting. And these are the needle stoppers that came with the little winter box too. They're cute little ones. And I like the point. I really do like these a lot. So I like Xiaogu knitting needles. They have a really nice super stabby point. A lot of people don't like it because they stab themselves with it, but I really like the way that I can knit with those. So I do enjoy these, and these also have a nice point on them. Yeah, these, I'm pretty sure they're called 4 square by Knit Picks, and they're on their website. Yeah, here's my little progress keeper. So that's where I was last week. So like I said, I've been knitting so much on this, and I've just been having a blast. It has been so much fun. So I'm just doing the body right now. I had split for the sleeves a while back. So I'm just knitting through that body, and then I will I'll do the sleeves, and then I will have myself a nice long sleeve fun fade that I feel like I'll get some wear out of. Sometimes the fades, I don't wear them as often. Like my one fade that I made is Andrea Mowry's faded short sleeve. I made that one with a Ruby and Roses yarn mini skein set, and I think a full size and maybe one other mini and a couple random minis that I had. I put them all together, so it's really pretty. It's quite beautiful, but it's very vibrant, and it's not exactly my normal go-to color palette, but it's really fun in the summer because it's very colorful. Where this, I feel like even though it's colorful, I could still wear this more in the fall and winter, and I think it's a beautiful, beautiful use of color in the winter. That's unique because many times I go towards solids in the winter time or color work sweaters, things like that. Where this will be a fun sweater. That's kind of that good transition. Because it's the superwash merino. It's warm, but it's not going to be as warm as like my heavy woolens, which I'll talk about one that I've been working on here as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continue working on this. And this was my Advent gift this year. So it's a lot of fun. And I love how these colors turned out because you never know. That's the one tricky part about 25-day Advents, I have to say, is that sometimes the colors can either just not be in your wheelhouse and you enjoy working with them, but you're not really going to wear the item, or you make a blanket or something like that, which is totally fine. But I love that these colors are actually colors that I want to wear, and I'm looking forward to wearing it. So yeah, it was a really nice Advent to work through. And I still have to read the book, but we still have quite a bit of winter left here, so I'm just gonna slowly make my way through that, and yeah, that'll be fun. All right. So the only other knitting project that I worked on was this one by Melody Hoffman. I just worked on it a little bit. And it is the... it's Wildflower Path. Or Wildflowers. I think it's Wildflowers Path. I only did like, I don't know, like an inch. I always do just like an inch. I don't really knit a lot on it. I would love to do more. It's a beautiful oatmeal-y color. This is primarily Nutiden wool, Swedish wool that I splurged on about a year ago. And I'm just using that, and then I'm holding it double. Actually, I'm holding that double, and then I'm holding this cobweb weight yarn by Old Mill Yarns. They're out of Allegan, Michigan. Highly recommend checking them out if you're in the area during the Michigan Fiber Festival in August. Highly recommend. I find so many treasures there. That's why I almost don't want to recommend. But I'd love for them to obviously get business, so other than mine, because I can only provide so much. So, but I find some serious treasures. This is one of those treasures. It is, like I said, like cobweb weight. It's very light, so I'm holding it double, and it's a blend of alpaca, merino, nylon, I think something else too. It's super soft, but very lightweight and fragile on its own, but if held double, and then especially being held with the Nutiden, it adds enough of a structure to really give it some strength. So it should retain its shaping and everything, and I shouldn't run into that issue where sometimes, especially on your shoulders, I find the Nutiden can start to stretch. I think this is going to really help with that, giving it some decent structure, so it probably won't do that. I hope it won't. Because I love this sweater. I have already knit this sweater. This is the second time I'm knitting it. I just knit it with Plutalopi the first time. And I wear it a lot. So I'm looking forward to it because it's a really comfortable fit for a sweater. So I do want to have another good go-to. And this is, like I said, like kind of an oatmeal-y comfort. I love the fact that using that dark brown alpaca blended cobweb yarn with this adds some really nice depth and texture to the already textured stitch that's going on here, and then to the body it just adds some neat depth of color. So I'm definitely enjoying that a lot. And I just knit on it here and there. I am looking forward to finishing this though, because it's going to be so nice and warm and soft. It's so soft. So just have, because as I said, it's pretty cold here, so having a nice toasty sweater. Like right now, I am just wearing this lightweight little long sleeve, and I am cold as can be right now because our fireplace is behind the door that's shut. And when I open that door, it's going to be nice and cozy. But I'm cold right now. So I really want to put my warm sweater on. So I need to start working on that some more, just so I can wear it. That would be excellent. All right. Next is not works in progress as in a project, but it kind of is because it's working in progress towards a project. So the project in question that I want to work on is, this is going to take me a while to get there, but bear with me. The project is The Weekender by Andrea Mowry. Yes, I knit a lot of Andrea Mowry patterns. I think I talked about this in a prior video. I love Andrea Mowry's patterns. I have knit many of them because I enjoy the fit, I enjoy the process. They're really clear. I don't find issue with understanding her directions at all, so, and, you know, when you like the patterns, you buy more, and then she has the great discounts on her birthday. If you don't know, if you're not aware, Andrea Mowry tends to run a sale around her birthday, which I cannot remember when that is right now. Sorry. But her sale usually is the age that she is. So it's a great deal, and you get it off of her patterns, and it could be as many patterns as you want. So I have purchased multiple, so I want to get through her patterns. So yes, I am working on a lot of Andrea Mowry patterns, but I bought a lot of them because she had a great deal, and each year I pick up a couple more. I can't help it. But this is the Weekender, and as you can kind of see, I don't think this is hand spun, but you can definitely use hand spun to do it. I think she even had a make along recently where she was doing the spin it to knit it to make Weekenders, and she does a lot of the spin it to knit it. It's a way to get you inspired to knit things out of your hand spun, which I love. But a whole sweater is going to take me a long time to do. So this is the goal. This is the end goal. And then this is the yarn. So I already knit one. Oh dear. I already knit one, or spun one skein. I just finished spinning a second skein. So, and of course each skein is a little different. They're all, I did 3-ply. I'm going to be doing 3-ply. This is the actual color, a little easier to see. It's an oatmeal color. It is 100% Gotland lamb's wool. It's so soft. It's a baby Gotland little lamb's fleece. It's the first fleece that came off of that Gotland sheep. And it is so, so soft. Oh, so soft. So this was the very first skein I made of it. And I got 170 yards. And this is a worsted weight. It's kind of like a worsted, heavy worsted is kind of where it falls. So we'll see, because the pattern calls for worsted weight, so we'll see if it ends up being like super heavy compared to it. But this is the second skein that I made. So it is a slightly smaller skein. It is 160 yards, so just 10 yards less, basically. You can see it is not perfect by any means, and I left. So depending on the fleece, this is a very small fleece. I think it was around 2.5 pounds. So it's a pretty small fleece. So really, I was kind of precious with it. So like even the itty bitty nebs and neps, like small pieces of wool, I did not pull it. I left them in. So that's why you'll see like little neps, kind of almost creates this boucle look to it as well. So there's some little curls here and there from the small neps and everything. And I love the way that looks. It's a hand spun look. That's what I want it to look like. So, I mean, some of it I'd say is because I'm learning, which I am, but I also kind of wanted it to look that way. So, because this was the first time I'm spinning with it, there's a little bit more of this little boucle like curls and such going on. This one has it as well, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing how this is the first one that I made, and this one is after a lot more spinning, and I was still able to be consistent so that they look very similar, which I'm really glad. I am a very new spinner. If you guys are new to my channel, I am a very new spinner, so this was fun to see that I was able to kind of make them pretty consistent, like consistently inconsistent. So yeah, I'm very excited. This is going to be a nice oatmeal color. It'll be a super nice neutral, and I love the fact that it'll be this like comfy, cozy sweater, like the Weekender, that you can just throw on and wear t-shirts under, tank tops under, depending. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. It'll be like my go-to sweatshirt type sweater, which I'm looking forward to. Very soft. So according to the pattern, and when I did some math, I need to have 7 of these skeins. Oh my goodness. Now, I did the math based on 160 yards. So clearly there's 10 more yards in this one. So if I end up doing a couple more of this kind of yardage, I'll probably only need maybe 6 skeins. But I only have 2. I just started spinning up another one, but I'm almost halfway there. It's going to be a process, that's for sure. But I love the process, so, you know, I'm here for it. I hope you are as well. It'll be a ongoing saga with the Gotland spinning for the Weekender, but I'm here for it. And now that I have my wonderful drum carder that my husband built, I love it so much. That was another part of my Christmas gift, was the beautiful drum carder, which is amazing. It's electric drum carder. It is amazing, you guys. I actually carded up the rest of that Gotland fleece with it. I showed it in a prior video just talking about that and showing you like what the giant bats look like. It's amazing. So I now can just spin because it's all carded. I love it. All right, I'm geeking out hardcore on that because it's amazing. All right, so now, oh, I almost forgot to show you guys. So this was the remnants of that first sock set that I did. I did not weigh this, but from the Ridgeline boot socks that I made, this was all I have left from that. But that to be said, this skein has about 460 yards of yarn, and I have this much left, which I could probably, I cannot get a full set of shorties out of this, but I don't know how much this is. I don't think it's 50 grams though, so I'm not sure, but that's a decent amount, I feel like. Then again, it's probably the size of, could be around 20 grams, 30 grams of yarn. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I always find fun things to do with my random bits and bobs. And then this is just the teeny bit that was left of my contrast color. So I feel like it used up a decent amount of yarn. This was a 100-gram skein. This was a 20-gram. So I'm grateful that I didn't run out of the contrast color. That was something I wasn't sure about, but nope, plenty. So, and that was the largest size. I did the largest size of that pattern. So just so you know, if you do the Ridgeline boot socks and you've purchased the Advent, you do have more than enough to make your sock set. If you go with the largest size, go with the smaller size, you'll definitely have enough. All right, so I'm just going to start into a life update type of things now. So if you're here for it, I'm so grateful for you. And if you're just here for the knitting content and spinning, I'm glad you guys joined me, and I look forward to chatting with you in the near future. But I'm just going to talk about life hack stuff right now. Cold hacks. We'll get into cold hacks. I already mentioned it. Pedialyte. I kid you not. No, not sponsored. This is not Pedialyte. This is an off-brand. It looks nice and glowy here. It probably has some crazy food dye that you probably shouldn't ingest, but it helps me feel better. So, at this point, I'm here for it. I am. I'm here for it. So, that's my first one. Pedialyte, or if you can get your hands on off-brands for a deal that has a compared to Pedialyte on the bottle. Good stuff. It's usually in the kids section at a lot of grocery stores, so you're not going to find it near sports drinks. This is more for hydration, for when you're sick kind of thing. I think it's for kids and stuff when they're dealing with dehydration. And adults can use it too, and it really helps you get hydrated when you're dehydrated. So when you have a cold, you get dehydrated very quickly as your body, and you're sick in general because your body's trying to fight it. So you use up water very quickly. So that Pedialyte, it gives you energy, and it'll make you feel better because your life gets sucked out of you when you get sick. So Pedialyte is huge for me. The other thing that I did not put down on the paper, but I just remembered it. So I did not partake in this because I currently, this past year, I do not consume alcohol, and it's for health reasons. I have nothing against anyone who enjoys to partake in a drink here and there. I have nothing against it. But in this past year, I have not partaken in alcohol, and I am continuing down that health path of not consuming it. Otherwise, I would recommend a shot of whiskey when you get sick. There's an old remedy, and it usually always helps me. But not only does it help you sleep, but it really helps kill things that are not good going on in your body. But I did not partake in that this year, so maybe that's why it's taking me so long to get better. I don't know. But that's usually something that helps me a lot. I definitely recommend whiskey when you're sick. But the other thing is green tea. Huge. Green tea is huge. It's antioxidant rich. So I know I had a buddy in college and she just swore by it, and she's so right. So green tea, just green tea, and then you brew that, and then you add raw honey. You could use any honey, but I highly recommend raw honey. And then I do to 8 ounces of water, or 8 ounces of green tea, I'll add about a teaspoon of raw honey, and then I'll add, so this is where it gets a little aggressive, half a lemon. So that's a lot of lemon. Um, it definitely is on the acidic side, but it's really feels good. Gives you a nice boost of vitamin C. You get the antioxidants from the green tea, and then honey is notorious for keeping you healthy. So I am not a health professional at all, but these are things that have been recommended to me that I've used, and they definitely helped me. In college, I constantly would drink green tea when I was sick with lemon and honey, and it always made me feel better quickly. So I definitely recommend that as well. The other thing that I just started doing this year that I also would recommend is warming agents. So warming agents are things like ginger and garlic. So what I made this year for the winter time was a batch of fermented honey garlic. So literally it is what it sounds like. You take raw garlic, you literally cut off one end, peel the cloves, and then you put, I probably did, these were all garlic from our garden, but I peeled all of the garlic cloves, probably, some of them are very small, and I don't know, I just filled up a jar, I don't know if it's it's a small size jar. I don't know what to compare it to, but I filled that up. I'd say it'd probably be the equivalent of 3 garlic cloves, or garlic heads of garlic, 3 to 4, peeled. And then you basically try to fill up about 3/4 of your jar with the garlic, and then you cover it in honey. And I use a decent amount of honey, and it's raw honey. It needs to be raw honey. And you pour that over the top and cover the garlic. And then you put the lid on, and I kid you not, you just store that at room temperature. You don't have to can it, nothing. Leave it in the dark in a pantry. That's what I did. I just put it in the pantry, and there's many recipes out there on how to do this. I just look up fermented honey garlic, and I found a recipe. And if I can find it again, I'll include the link below. It was so easy to make. And then you just literally flip it. I don't know. You can consume it right away, but it's going to be on the spicy side, have bite to it because the garlic hasn't fermented. But I kid you not, within a day or two of flipping it, you'll see little bubbles going up and forming at the top, and that's because it's fermenting. And the coolest thing is it stays good like this for over a year. I've only had it for a couple months in there, but it's so good. So I had it right away within a week of it being fermented, and they had a little bit more garlic bite to it. And you take literally a spoonful, a teaspoon of honey with 1 clove of garlic, and then you just take it. And you take it on an empty stomach, and I do it in the morning only. You can take it multiple times a day, but I take it in the morning, and then the honey does help it go down, but I have to tell you, the longer you let it ferment, the less garlic the garlic is. The garlic and the honey just really meld together, the flavor, and it has a garlic flavor, but it has the sweetness of the honey, and it's not bitter. It doesn't have the sharp bite that garlic has. It's amazing. So I would literally, empty stomach, take one of those, and it warms your stomach. You can feel it going down. So that's one thing that I do to try to help. And then the other thing that I started doing this year as well that I've not done before is raw ginger. So, and not raw ginger, I guess I should say not raw ginger as in raw ginger. You could do that if you had got it in your gut, but I stumbled upon this candied raw ginger, and it was near the like dried fruit at my market, my grocery store. So where there's dried fruit, you might be able to find it. And I was really excited. I don't know why I was, but I was. And I'm glad I bought it because I got sick like a week later. Go figure. So I bought that, and what I've been doing is I literally take a piece of that ginger that's candied, like, so it has crystallization on the outside, and I just eat a chunk of that with my cup of tea. It is so good because the tea it just helps it go down. That is also very warming when you eat the ginger. You'll feel it going down. It's warm in your mouth. It's warm. It's so warming. Again, that's one of those warming agents. It's supposed to help your body when you're fighting against a thing like a cold. So clearly I am still sick, but like I said, I don't get sick as often as I used to. And these things, when I am sick, at least help me feel better. I may still sound like this, but I feel a lot better. So, food for thought. It doesn't hurt. It has helped me. So, there you go. One other thing I wanted to mention before I get off of here, there is a YouTube channel I stumbled upon, and I love sheep farmers and learning about shepherds and shepherdesses, and because as I mentioned, we're looking into getting sheep, and by looking into, I mean we're very serious about it. My husband has built the sheep house. He's working on that, which I'm really excited about, and we are getting some fencing, and we're going to work on installing that in the spring, and then come summer, when the babies are available to purchase, we are going to purchase some. I'm really excited, and yes, so I've been looking at a lot of videos to learn more as much as I possibly can. I am all about absorbing information, and I stumbled upon a channel that the guy that runs the channel is actually not notoriously all about sheep farming or anything. He's actually involved in the news network overseas, and his parents actually live on an island in Scotland, and it's a remote island, and there's over 100 of these sheep on this island, and they call them like a seaweed eating sheep, and it's really fascinating to hear about this couple. And he recorded them, some of the things about their life. They hand dye yarn, they make the yarn from the wool from these sheep, and then they also work the pelts. They eat the sheep, and they also then work and sell the pelts as rugs. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. And he's just posted a new video today, which I'm really excited because I want to watch it. But I find it incredibly fascinating. They live definitely that slower paced lifestyle where they're really doing a lot by hand and trying to utilize, nature and the elements to provide water, electricity, all these things. So I find it incredibly fascinating, and you may as well. So I'm going to include the link to that below, and if you read, it's Hamish Oscary, I think that's how you say it, Oscary. I may be saying that wrong, but Scottish, so probably saying it wrong. But Hamish Oscary is the channel. It's his YouTube channel, and it's his family, and it's the most recent videos because he went on basically a sabbatical for like a month or so, and he's helping them with their property because there's health concerns, health things going on with his parents, and he's trying to help them out. He and his I believe his partner as well are trying to help them deal with all of this. So it's a lot of work for one person to do on their own, because right now his dad's going through some health concerns. So it's absolutely fascinating, and I highly recommend you check it out if you can support his family, because they do have items for sale on their website, which I would absolutely love to buy some of their things, but I'm really trying hard to go through my stash and then also work through some of my Multifarious Nature yarn as well. I'm really trying to behave myself this year. I'm going to try really, really hard to work through my stash and not purchase yarn. If I go to the Michigan Fire Festival, which I want to do, I may purchase like a fleece. it's hard for me not to do that when I get to go in person, but I'm really going to try very hard not to purchase yarn this year, if I can help it. If people gift it to me, I'm not going to begrudge them that. That's kind, and that's wonderful, but I'm personally going to try really hard not to purchase yarn this year. So, but if you are in the end of things where you could purchase yarn, or you'd like to, or you'd like to purchase one of their beautiful rugs, they do look absolutely stunning, and I would love to purchase them. But right now, I'm just not doing that. I'm going to try to behave myself. But yeah, I'll include all that information below, and you should definitely check it out. Definitely check out the channel. I think you'll enjoy it. If you enjoy learning about that kind of thing, you definitely probably will enjoy that. But if you're into the fiber arts at all, definitely check out their website as well, because I think you'll find some fun things there you might like to partake in. And yeah, without further ado though, I think that's it for this week. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to. I'm so stinking cold. I want to go by that fire, but I'm actually starting to shake. But I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're healthy, and I hope you're happy, and I hope you're creating, and I look forward to hearing about what you're working on, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and a great start to your new year, and I hope you're creating all kinds of fun things. Take care. Bye.